Hello and welcome to the Joint Dota League Season 4 here on HeflaTV 2. Ahead of us, we're going to have a best of 2 series between Lajons and Sqreen Squad, who are fresh off a win up against Album Sheet in the Yard Red Festival. I'm Grandis Fee, and once again, I'm going to be joined by HeflaMoke.
Yo, that's me.
Indeed it is. Yeah, into the draft we're going to go with the two bans already out from both teams, as well as the first picks. Death Prophet, Razor, Io, and Faceless Void taken out of the pool, with the first pick Brewmaster and follow-up Scarlet Mage coming out from Sqreen Squad.
Yeah, I'm just doing something in the background at the moment, so
all good.
Just go ahead, feel free, unfold yourself, Grandis.
Alright, very well. So it seems like more or less this is going to be solo through the first portion of this draft. Ogre Magi is going to follow up this Scarlet Mage for Sqreen Squad, already offering a lot of burst damage coming out from these two, and a decent amount of control for the Brewmaster. They should be able to burst him down before he gets off his ultimate with just these two picks. If they have any more control, Brewmaster's ultimate isn't as reliable as he'd like it to be before he gets a BKB available to him. As far as Lajons' next pick, I haven't seen them play very much at all. It is Era's team, and I've heard good things about them, although I've only had the pleasure of casting them once before, so I don't have a lot of personal experience with them, although they are some fairly well-known names. Speaking of well-known names, Sqreen Squad are going to be running with two new stand-ins. One of them is Sexy Bambo. I did go ahead and check out his profile, and it looks like that is the Sexy Bambo. And this guy named IMV Ninja, I have no idea who that is, and I couldn't find any more information on him. So Sqreen Squad, this is going to be a different lineup than what we saw earlier up against Album Sheet. Shadow Demon is going to follow up the Brewmaster for Lajons. It's going to be nice defensively up against the Scarlet Mage, and I think more than anything that's why they're picking up the Shadow Demon here. They have the potential also to follow it up with the likes of a Kunkka or a Mirana, which would be wonderful for them. Yeah, and it's also going to force Sqreen Squad's hand in the banning stage, maybe taking out at least one of those heroes. An anti-mage ban is actually fairly peculiar from Sqreen Squad, potentially setting themselves up for a Medusa here. Puck taken out by Lajons, I'm not sure if that's the best ban coming out from them. It's always a solid hero to have on their side, and I just don't want it to be available to Sqreen Squad. There's still a lot of offlaners available in the pool, and I think might deserve the slot a little bit more than a Puck, but I suppose you can't go wrong with the Puck ban either.
5 seconds.
Let's see.
Reserve
Yeah, right now, not a whole lot else to talk about. The drafts earlier today were a lot faster than this one. Both teams eating through a chunk of their reserve time to start things off. Both of them have a decent starting as far as their first heroes, but they could go in a lot of different directions with this. Scarlet Mage and Ogre Magi, although they're a really nice aggressive combo early on, can scale pretty well into the later portions of the game through just the damage of Scarlet Mage, as well as some decent utility coming out from him, and the Ogre Magi with the Bloodlust, always useful for your carry, pretty much no matter who that is. The Medusa might be considered to be banned out by Lajons, as that could be something very nice for Sqreen Squad to work with, although it is fairly greedy. I don't know, they might consider it. Right now they are taking their time. There's a little bit of dead in the air. I'm not sure when Hefla is going to jump back in here. I assume he'll let me know whenever he's here, so just give me a shout whenever you're available. Thanks for joining us for this best of two. It is in the Join Dota League Season 4, one of the earlier games in the group stage of this tournament. I haven't actually checked out any standings as far as the Join Dota League Season 4 is concerned, so I'm not sure if this game is very important at all. It's going to be a Centaur ban coming out from Lajons, which I definitely think is warranted, but I think the puck could be a little bit more interchangeable. The Mirana ban and straight into a Viper pick. No hesitation coming out from Sqreen Squad. They knew exactly what they wanted. After a decent amount of time to think about it, no reason to eat through their reserve time. With the Ogre as well as Sqreen Mage and the Viper now, a lot of tankiness in the early portions of the game, as well as damage coming out from these three. They could be lined up as a tri-lane together, feasibly, but if nothing else, the Ogre Magi and Sqreen Mage can very easily roam into the Viper's lanes and look for kills. Vengeful Spirit quickly snacked up by Sqreen Squad as a response to the Batrider coming out from Lajons. Obviously, the defensive swaps coming out from the Vengeful Spirit are going to be very nice for them, but one of these three heroes, Sqreen, Ogre, or Vengeful Spirit, are going to be played in a core role, which may or may not be what Sqreen Squad had planned from the beginning. I think this is going to start out, at the very least, as an aggressive trialing coming out from Sqreen Squad, or maybe just some very heavy roaming coming out from two of these heroes. As far as Lajons' next pick, they need something to follow up after that Shadow Demon. The Mirana, almost without question, the best follow-up to the Shadow Demon Disruption is already taken out of the pool. It's setting up for the clap from the Brewmaster, which is kind of nice, but right now that utility is more or less lost. I'd love to see a Kunkka coming out from Lajons, but it's going to be a Wraith King. Wraith King and Shadow Demon is a supporting duo. I don't know, just feels a little bit too setup heavy and doesn't really accomplish anything together. It definitely could work out, but I think the third cog in the wheel is going to be most important for them. This Wraith King could be played as a core or as a support. At this point, it's still yet to be seen. Ideally, they'd have a Mirana with these two, setting up the Shadow Demon arrow into the Wraithfire Blast of the Wraith King. This also could be a decent time to pull out a Leshrac. Although the Viper is going to be fairly tanky up against the magic nukes coming out from that hero, the Sqreen Mage, Vengeful Spirit, and even the Ogre Magi to a certain extent are all going to be fairly easy to bring down, and that could be an option for Lajons if they're considering it. Although I haven't seen a Leshrac in a while, could be a pretty solid choice. Last pick for Sqreen Squad, I think they're missing a solo safe laner or an off-lane hero. Centaur would have been pretty nice for them, but they could go for pretty much whatever they wanted. Honestly, the Medusa doesn't seem so bad here.
Dyer's ban.
Yeah, it would be nice to buff up that hero with the extra damage coming out from the Vengeful Spirit, as well as the Bloodlust coming out from the Ogre Magi, up against the Brewmaster as well as the Batrider. It would be a little bit sketchy. You would be very easily focused down, and getting a Black King bar would almost be mandatory, if not a Monkey King bar and the Lincoln Sphere. Still, I think they could be able to pull it off, especially with defensive swaps coming out for the Vengeful Spirit, more or less completely negating the Batrider's Blink Lasso initiation if the Vengeful Spirit's positioning is on point, potentially even forcing Lajons to focus down that Vengeful Spirit. The last ban coming out from them is in fact going to be an Invoker. Would have been a lot of global ganking presence coming out from Sqreen Squad should they have chosen to go for that hero. And the last ban from Sqreen is going to be a Jakiro. A farming Jakiro could work out for Lajons, or maybe it's just played purely as a support. The Shadow Demon Disruption into Ice Path is a pretty solid combo, although not until later levels does it really pick up its steam. As the Ice Path at lower levels, the lockdown is not going to be that great. The Liquid Fire is usually going to be maxing as well, so at the early portions of the game, we might not see that combo to its full potential. Sqreen Squad are going to be considering what this last pick is going to be, and honestly, it could be pretty much anything. These lanes are fairly fluid coming out from Sqreen Squad. Yeah, if they do want to go for purely an offlane hero, no, they're going to go for the Slark instead. It's going to be fueling the aggression coming out from Sqreen Squad, which definitely plays with their playstyle as a team. They love going very aggressive early on. If they're able to do so, I'm liking their chances in this game. Lajons, although they're fairly decent aggressive picks themselves, need to get a little bit of something before they get online. Most notably, Blink Daggers on at least the Batrider and Brewmaster, and potentially even the Wraith King. It would be really nice if they get those Blink Daggers up in an early time, but if they don't, then Sqreen Squad are pretty much going to have free reign of the map with an Ogre Magi, Skywrath Mage, as well as Vengeful Spirit. So much early lockdown there. And all three of these heroes, the Vengeful Spirit, Viper, and Slark, are fairly self-sufficient in the right circumstances. Vengeful Spirit's going to be the one that needs the most help. And it's going to be a last pick Gyrocopter coming out from Lajons. A fairly interesting last pick coming out from them is going to be a nice combination of early and late game pressure that Sqreen Squad are going to have to deal with. The magic damage early on set up by the Shadow Demon Disruption into the Wraithfire Blast, they have definitely enough tools to keep the Gyrocopter sticking on target, which is wonderful. But still, I'm inclined to like Sqreen Squad's lineup a little bit more. I think it just gels better as a team. At this point, I have no idea if I'm joined by HeflaTV or not, as I haven't heard his voice in the longest of times. But into the game, we're going to be transitioning as soon as everybody picks up their heroes. It's going to be interesting to see Sqreen Squad running with a couple of stand-ins. It's going to be Sexy Bambo playing on the Skywrath Mage. And to introduce the rest of the team, we'll head towards that once we actually load in. Lions are still waiting on a couple of their players to snag up their heroes, and finally, we're going to have everybody loaded into the game. Sqreen Squad on the Radiant side. We are going to have Sqreen himself playing on the Ogre Magi return performance after this morning. Necroman's going to be playing on the Viper with I Am the Ninja on the Vengeful Spirit. ZXE on the Slark, Sexy Bambo, aforementioned on the Skywrath Mage, purchasing a Golden Baby Roshan on the Dire side. We're going to have Lions with Key playing on the Shadow Demon. MyNuts is going to be playing on the Gyrocopter, looking to be the carry in that lane. Era is going to be the support Wraith King, starting out with a Stout Shield as well as some regen. That could be a support Gyrocopter, but we'll see in just a little bit. Jennison Fan is going to be playing on the Batrider, heading towards the off lane with a mid Brewmaster handled by Kix. These lanes, it looks like it's just going to be a solo mid Viper, potentially. Starting out with a very stats-heavy opener coming out from Necroman. He should have this lane pretty much on lockdown up against the Brew. Brew can do a lot better than most melee heroes in this lane situation up against the Viper, but every time he wants to go for a CS, he's pretty much going to be forced into using the Thunderclap, and if he gets that close up to the creep wave, the slows coming out from Viper as well as Ras is going to be really annoying for him to deal with. It is going to be an aggressive tri-lane coming out from Sqreen IMV Ninja, as well as the Skywrath Mage. Sexy Bambo is going to be going on a little bit of a warding mission, and then afterwards, we'll go ahead and join the rest of his teammates up in top. This is probably where we're going to see the bulk of the action. Slark down in bottom is unlikely to be dying up against the Batrider, purging off the Sticky Napalm. At the worst case scenario, is going to be dropped low, but once level 6 happens, Slark is at very little to no potential to die. That said, MyNuts might be falling here in the first blood. He gets the, excuse me, Rocket Barrage off, doing a decent amount of damage to Sexy Bambo. They only have the Fire Blast coming out from the Ogre Magi, trying to get range for IMV Ninja to get his Magic Missile off. He'll get the Magic Missile, but it doesn't net them a kill on the Gyrocopter, and now they might be able to find the turnaround. Disruption is going to set up again for a Rocket Barrage, the third of this engagement, and Sqreen dropping fairly low. If this is any other hero, probably would have fallen, but Sqreen is going to survive, going towards the north. They stun up Key again. The Viper's looking for the damage coming out from those odd attacks with the poison attack slow. It's going to be Sexy Bambo drawing first blood. The Ogre Magi is going to join back with his friendlies, and it's going to be first blood drawn by Sqreen Squad, although they're going to be forced to eat through a lot of their regen. 3 Clarities already popped, and it's going to be the majority of their tangos as well. It seems that it is going to be a support Gyrocopter at the very least. Era is going to be getting this first wave of creeps. Gyrocopter, played as a support, definitely can do a lot of damage, and we saw that in that early engagement, but then again, with just the Gyrocopter to set, or just the Disruption to set him up there, it didn't really do enough. He got 3 Rocket Barrages off during that engagement, which is quite honestly ridiculous at this point. Wraith King should not be having a very fun time in this lane at all, however, as Sqreen and company should be able to zone him out very effectively. If he comes up too close, there's always the threat of just being chain stunned to oblivion. Skywrath Mage doesn't have his level 2 available, so the Arcane Bolt damage isn't going to be there for Sqreen Squad yet. But once that is there, the killing potential that they have is pretty significant. Gyrocopter, played as support, isn't going to be able to deal with that very well at all, especially since he's completely munched through all of his regen. Mid lane, as expected, is starting out in favor of Necroman. I don't expect this to change anytime soon, as he was involved in that first blood kill and generally should have a wonderful time in that lane. Gyrocopter and Shadow Demon, potentially looking for a bit of a roam, are standing off of this Wraith King as they can't really accomplish much, but honestly I think that's going to remain the case for the majority of this game. The Shadow Demon, he doesn't really have great places to roam and look for kills. There's no Mirana to follow up after that Disruption to really hammer that stun home, and so it's going to be really hard for Lions to find anything off of this map. As far as late game is concerned, I think Lions will be very comfortable taking it late as long as they're able to transition his Gyrocopter into more of a carry. But as it stands, Sqreen Squad are doing well in all three of their lanes. Brewmaster is surprisingly doing a lot better than I thought he would. Once he got the Drunken Haze up and spamming on Necroman, he's been able to see us a little bit better than the Viper, which is pretty good. This is one of the ways that Brewmaster is able to stand neck and neck in the lane with the Viper. But once more levels come up in the Poison attack as well as the Nether Toxin, I don't expect that to remain the status quo. The biggest surprise for me is that ZXC is doing as well as he is down in bottom. With the wand, or rather magic stick, the Batrider can do very little to nothing about this Slark's farm. And so Slark is going to be completely fine, left alone. All of the support's time is focused up in this top lane. After getting the first blood, the Vengeful Spirit, as well as the Sqreen Mage, really haven't been able to accomplish much, or rather I should say the Ogre, as well as Venge, haven't been able to accomplish much. This might change as they stun up Era, follow up with the Magic Missile, but not enough damage as he's under the tower, and diving into the likes of the Gyrocopter as well as Shadow Demon is a little bit too dangerous for Sqreen Squad's comfort, and they are going to back off. The bottle is going to be full of quicks. He's probably going to secure the 4-minute rune. Right now the lane's pushing in the favor of Lions, but that's not really what they wanted to be doing. The Wraith King and company have to play fairly defensively. They're going to contest this pull coming out from the Radiant team, and we'll be able to secure a couple of CS out of this one. The Gyrocopter gets one and then pokes his head over the river area. Era is also looking for it, but doesn't find the last hit on either of the creeps and can't secure the kill on that Dark Troll Summoner either.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how it is.
It is how it is. Okay, so finally I have HeflaTV here to clear the air a little bit, and you can actually hear another voice. Quicks dropped very low in mid lane, but how much of the draft in the early game did you actually watch? Up on top?
Not much.
Era going to be dropped after the introduction of HeflaTV. A really terrible time actually to have a pause, and this was going to land in a sexy bamboo, but okay, so let's see.
I'm just looking at the laning and everything, and definitely a nice start for Sqreen Squad now that with that kill. It's a support Wraith King. That's actually interesting.
No, it's core. He's been trying to get farm.
Wait, yeah, this is...
Yeah.
Wow. So they play... Where's... That is a support Gyrocopter. Oh, I would have liked that in the draft. Jesus. I love support Gyrocopter then.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to do much, though. In the first blood, he was able to get off like 3 rocket barrages, but still wasn't enough damage for them to get the kill. And down in bottom, Leap Pounce into the leash onto the Batrider is going to secure another kill. Going the way of Sqreen Squad, starting this out 3-0. Honestly, Lions are getting nothing out of this map, with the exception being mid lane, who's doing pretty well up against the Viper. Compared to what I would think the Brewmaster would be getting out of this lane, Cooks is doing an admirable job, but doesn't make up for the fact that top and bottom are pretty much disasters.
Yep, absolutely. And well, I'm just looking at how the lane's involved and how everybody is doing. At the moment, the Brewmaster is kind of in trouble. Viper's taken over that mid lane, it seems. Like a tiny bit ahead in CS, but I don't know, maybe with that... at the moment he was bottle crowing, so I guess they... Oh, they want to go on that Ogre here on the top rune.
And they're going to find him with the Rocket Barrage doing a whole boatload of damage. It's going to be Sqreen falling first. Minuts is going to eat the brunt of that Arcane Bolt as well as auto attacks. And Disruption is going to delay any further aggression, or maybe it won't. Concussive Shot lands on the Key, and they're going to pursue this further. With the Drunken Haze, however, I don't think they can get this. And TP out from Key is probably going to save him. No mana for a Magic Missile. And he'll be able to make it back to base. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. After Lions
definitely nice.
Slow. Yeah.
I mean, it's a 1-1 trade for the support, so nothing lost, nothing gained. The Viper, I was just about to say, the Viper, sure, lost a ton of mana and is not really, able to do anything as in harass on the lane, but he just found a regeneration rune, so everything is back to normal. It's just a 1-1 trade for support. Everything is fine. When it comes to it's quite interesting. Like ZXC, we saw him in the last game already, like Slark versus Batrider, and actually he finds the Pounds and Jonas. Oh, you should not have gone there. Like, that's the upside of his Slark. He can remove everything. It just comes back.
Yeah, definitely. And Batrider's not respecting that. I expect most of our action to stay in this top lane, as Batrider shouldn't die to that again. But still, this Slark 1-0-1 and pretty much unobstructed farm is going to have a huge impact this game. Let's see what his item build is going to be. Last game we saw ZXC go for the treads before going into the blink, which might be his choice this game, but after getting a solo kill and getting free farm, maybe he just rushes the blink to get some more kill potential, especially on the likes of the Shadow Demon and Gyro.
Yep, I mean, we have two candidates here for definitely. Oh, with the top go, the Scarab Mage already gets the Wraith King again, and Key might fall as well. The Gyrocopter, he has to fly. I was just about to say run, but he's flying, run really fast. It's not working out at all. Like this tri-lane, it's not taking any shape, and the problem is also that mid and bottom having similar problems at the same time. Necroman in the mid, oh, they want to go for that Viper.
They will be able to get the lasso back, and with the ultimate coming out from the Brewmaster, he should be able to secure this kill on Necromon. Slark shows his face, but is going to make himself elusive. I don't think they can kill off the Slark as well. They are going to throw a boulder his way and force out the ultimate, actually. Well, not sure that that was entirely necessary in the backlines. They are going to get this kill into the Batrider, or will they? One more auto attack. He's going to survive with 7 HP. They're going to be able to find him around the trees. Disruption is more or less going to help the Scarab Mage. Kix is dropping more, or quicker than Sexy Bambo. Now turning on to Key. Sexy Bambo is going to drop his life. ZXC stunned under the tower. Does have a pounce as well as a Dark Pact and should be able to make his way out of here safely, juking through the trees, making sure they don't have vision, and then leaping down towards the low ground. It's going to be a 1-for-3 trade. His Sqreen does escape after the tower hits him a couple of times.
Yep, like this poor Gyrocopter, he already died from just the 8s that Necromant left on him. Before he died, he got the full load of everything. That was Corrosive Skin, still Poison Attack a bit, and obviously the Viper Strike. That's easy one to go. That Viper, well, on a good way to the Mac right now. Just 500 gold pretty much is all they need. At the moment, it's Air on the mid, trying to grab some XP, because that tri-lane, it failed so hard. At least he's level 6 now, so from now on, he has like that little protection on his ultimate, but that's about it. As in bottom lane, ZXC, he's probably having the game of his lifetime. He's 42 and 11, not part of any of the fights so far. Like Jonas, well, he can't stop him anymore. He can just jungle and then go for ganks, and maybe he's even going for one. Lasso is ready.
I don't know. Still, killing Necroman is so hard. They were able to do so, but after both of those engagements, it's a 2-for-5 trade for Lions. They just can't find anything cleanly. Scarth Mage bumps into him, silences up Jonas, drops the ultimate. It's not going to do enough damage to kill off this Batrider. Had he dropped that earlier, maybe it would have been. Batrider is going to survive and bottles up to safe amounts of HP, but now let's Sqreen in here. This Batrider needs to make himself scarce. He's currently looking for a couple of stacks as I lag out a little bit, but there we go, back into the game. Slark is on a hunting mission. He finds himself a Batrider Firefly down on the low ground, but TP away from Jonas should keep himself completely safe.
Yep, absolutely. This is, by the way, also a game where I can totally see the Slark. Oh, top, where have we go here? There is already rocket flying on that Vengeful Spirit. Now, with all that stun and damage, that's an easy one, but they have to run far and fast.
MyNuts is going to be able to make it back to base. Slow goes Wave Era. Era, however, might be able to turn on Sexy Bambo with one more auto attack. It's going to be a double kill for the Wave Era. Fire Blast is going to drop Era fairly low, and he's probably going to lose his ultimate, but he doesn't have the mana unless he stick charges. There's the stick charges, but I'm not even sure if he wanted to use the ultimate there. It's a very long cooldown. They throw the Viper Strike, the Wave Era again, but the jump in from Kix, he's able to get off the ultimate. Now focusing down Necroman, throws him up in the air, and now going through the boulder, the Wave Sqreen. Era's being focused by IMV Ninja with the magic missile as well as the right clicks. It's not going to be enough as he escapes within inches of his life. Necroman still hasn't died to the Brewmaster ultimate, but Era makes his way out of this, and now Necroman in a very sticky situation probably is going to fall. They are going to get the... Oh, excuse me, Kix is the one in the real issue. He's going to stick charge, trying to TP out, canceled by the swap as well as by the Fire Blast, and it's going to be another kill going the way of Sqreen Squad. Luckily enough for them...
ZXC.
Yeah.
He wants to go for Era.
Let's see if he's going to succeed. No Blink Dagger. It's going to be a fairly hard chase. He needs to pop his ultimate, run at him. Era is going to be pursued by ZXC, looking for the pounce. He's going to miss the pounce, and that's going to be a missed kill. And now he's in a bit of trouble with the Wraith Fire Blast. Lasso committed. The ultimate, or rather, excuse me, the Rocket Barrage coming out from the Gyrocopter isn't going to do the damage, but all of the other heroes are, and unfortunately for ZXC, he's not able to get the deny off either.
That was the best example of Creed is bad. Like, Creed is sometimes really bad. I mean, that ultimate is usually, like, in 90% of the cases, it is used as an escape mechanism, but he used it just to chase that poor Wraith King. Like, they really wanted to shut down Era, but in the end he had to pay for it. And this is the Slark who had like free farm, nice items and everything, but now he kind of screwed himself there, because yeah, he lost a ton of farm and he gave away a lot to how you pronounce it anyway? Lajons?
Lions?
Lions.
I've just been saying Lions.
Just
whether that's
Lion.
wrong or not, yeah.
Dire's top tower.
I don't know.
I'm really bad. But I know the manager. I have to actually ask her. It's a her.
Wonderful. Yeah, after that, Batrider is able to clean up some stacks as well, so Jonas is back on the path that he wants to be, but Sqreen Squad still have a pretty solid lead in this game. Their Slark, although he dies there, is well on his way towards his Blink as well, and looking for a kill into Minuts. Minuts is going to be pounced on. He's able to TP out. Will the damage be there? Just needs a little bit more, and he's going to safely make it out. Shadow Demon might not be so lucky. He's pursued behind the trees. One more bop of Ogre's Club is going to secure the kill on the other support. Sqreen Squad are still leaps and bounds ahead of Lions.
I was actually surprised he's not using a Demonic Purge on the Orca. That would have been his chance to actually run away. Now in the mid, the Batrider is just getting that concussive shot. Oh, they actually want to get him, but Firefly is still on. They just need the swap, but nah, he's on the high ground. Oh, Ned, the swap is coming, and now all they need is a stun, but no mana for it. The Magic Missile will do it when the Orca can't fix it.
Courier going to take 2 tower shots and make his way safely. They are going to silence up kicks as well as stun him. They don't have any mana for a Venge stun. Now they do, but the split does come out, and the Rocket Barrage coming out from the Gyrocopter as well as the stun, but Slark's able to get the pounce off. Defensive Disruption is going to keep Arrow alive. He doesn't have his ultimate available. Another stun, multicast coming out from Sqreen is going to secure that kill, and now Key pursued with the Howl of Terror. They're going to be able to get the vision. One more auto attack. Sqreen secures himself a double. Now Kix is going to return back to Brewmaster Fools. Another multicast from Sqreen is going to make a team wipe. Yeah.
It's the second time that the Panda, like, after his ultimate is just running into whatever is left of the fight. In this case, it was a 4-on-1 pretty much, so I don't really understand. But oh, the Batrider found the Skyrath Mage here in a very awkward position. I mean, he's definitely going down with that kickback of the Flame Brag. That's about it. So at least they salvaged something by getting the Skyrath Mage, but the damage is already done. The damage is done. A full team wipe. Like, at least Era's ultimate didn't go out, so for the next engagement they have it, but another engagement here. Oh, Jason, that ZXC, he will be fast with the next pounce, but let's see what's happening here. Is he chasing this one? He has the Blink Dagger.
He wants it. He wants it so bad. He's going to find Jonas over on the side. He doesn't catch vision of him. No Blink Dagger on the Batrider. He's going to juke to the south, juke to the north, and Jonas is in a corner, and he's in a corner with a Slark. He's going to be able to bring down this kill. Firefly or not. ZXC with TP probably going to make his way out safely. Pounce and then TP? No, Blink TP, or just Blink. That works too.
Oh, well. That's Slark. I mean, this time he did it right. Just getting that kill, still having the ultimate just for the emergency situation, and yeah, nothing can happen to you pretty much in this one, at least in this draft, because there's no one who can really catch you. You can remove almost everything that like Lions can come up with.
Kicks in mid, going to be ulted by the Viper as well as the Skyrath, and now a Fire Blast to secure that kill. It's too much damage going into the Brewmaster. Split or not, he would have died there. There's going to be a rocket thrown out by the Gyrocopter, but right now this Gyro just isn't really holding his ground. He has a level 6, which will be nice for them, but they just can't do anything about this Sqreen Squad lineup. Tier 1 tower and mid's going to fall. They've, I don't know, just lost this early game so terribly. And the Wraith King that starts out with just power treads, working towards the Blink next, they can't do anything. Now they find themselves a Key. Key is going to die one way or another. It's going to be the Fire Blast to do him in.
Yep, the combination of stuns, swaps, slows, and obviously silences is just too much. Like, all of the heroes of Lions at the moment, they just work on, like, spells cast, but the Skyrath Mage has been like doing a great job so far. Like, his silences and then the follow-up, like, actually the silence and slow was for the last how many ganks, always the initiation, and then they just wait till either Vengeful Spirit or Ochre come in directly from the tier 2 into a smoke, and oh god, Era, that is a very awkward position. They TP out instantly.
No way to cancel it. They're going to be able to make it out to safety as ZXC pounces himself into the trees over those TPs, but still, Sqreen Squad, they don't have to stop here, really. They can just push into this tier 2 tower. There's not really anything that Lions can do about this. They need their Blink Daggers, and Batrider is going to have his. One more creep is all that he needs. He's so close, he can taste it. But then again, the Brewmaster doesn't have his, and Wraith King isn't close either. They just don't have a way to really take these engagements, and the best that they can hope for is look for a trade, and they're going to be forced to do that down in bottom, taking a tier 1, trading presumably for a tier 2.
Yeah, that tier 1 might guarantee at least a huge progress for like Quicks and Jonas here. Jonas will get, or has, the Blink Dagger right now. Quicks might get it with the Lasted or Era in that case. For Era it's not enough, and to be honest I don't think he's going for it. I think he skips the Blink Dagger, so they go for that trade, and it's definitely better for Sqreen Squad. They willingly give that tier 1 tower up, especially because you have a new Cliff right after, so that's not a big deal. Cliff is ready again, and by the time they push high ground, Lions, they have to go back. They will not apply any pressure here.
They're not TPing back fast enough. I think they're going to lose their tier 3 tower for it. They need everybody back here and ASAP. Brewmaster is going to make his way into this engagement. Does not have a Blink Dagger, any way to jump in. I think they lose tier 3 and then back off Sqreen Squad, or maybe they just exercise a little bit of caution. There's still a tier 2 tower on the map for them to take, so there's no real reason to rush this. Their items are just leaps and bounds ahead of what anything that Lions can bring to the table is going to be doing. Slark is well on his way towards the Scotty with an ultimate orb as well as 1,000 gold on top.
Yeah, he's starting directly with the big fat items. He doesn't even make any side steps, even though I really wanted to see a basher on him, because right now, like, they could really need some BKB interrupts, because for those heroes who go for BKB and TP out, it's a good game. But let's see. Top, they want to find that Batrider. All they need is a swap and, oh, instant Blink Dagger. I mean, the Magic Missile is still connecting, but it's not leading to anything. In the mid, we even missed the kill on that one. Oh,
yeah, I got it on camera, but now Jonas is going to be dropped in top. There's 2 kills going at the same time. We're going to see Era join back in, throwing a Wraithfire Blast towards Necromite. He's going to be demonically purged. Now the Gyrocopter ultimate is also going to land on him. They'll get the kill onto the Viper, but the Venge is able to make it out alive. It's going to be a 2-for-1 core trade in the favor of Sqreen Squad, even though the Viper dies there, and he probably could have avoided it. He didn't lose that much gold at all since he was able to buy out before he died, and it's going to be completed Treads, Drums, as well as Mech on the Viper, so he's not really hurting at all for gold. The most important thing is that Lions are able to get a kill, and when you're behind, that's just so important. It's much needed gold for their heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. The trade was again better for Sqreen Squad. Like, this Panda is also not finding into the game, like, still far away from that Blink Dagger. Nothing's really happening, and look how offensive that Scarab Mage is just there. And oh, look at the Slark, he's going directly just on the Gyrocopter, exploding him. He's for now at least getting out, so he's popping his ultimate. But yeah, this time they might turn it around.
Well, Sqreen, he held onto the Fire Blast, and now he's going to be forced to juke through the woods. Call down as well as the Wraith Fire Blast is going to be the end of the Sqreen. If he just went for that Wraith Fire Blast, it would have been the kill on the Shadow Demon, or excuse me, Gyrocopter. There's going to be Purge on Sexy Bamboo. He's also going to give up his life. They kill off the Brewmaster, but at the cost of 2 heroes, and now maybe more. Necroman going to be stunned up, but Jonas is eating a lot from that double damage INV Ninja, and they'll be able to bring down Jonas yet again. The Slark's joining the fight, cleaning house as Gyrocopter is the first to fall. The Howl is going to get the kill onto the Shadow Demon. It's a full 5-man wipe as they mop up the last hero, which is Era's Wraith King. No mana for the reincarnation. Mana or not, wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it was a very awkward fight. Like, that first attempt of, like, turning it around was good, but from there on they should have stopped and just not be that greedy and go for even more. This way they lost a ton again. Like, not even funny. Like, the Slark even finding back into the fight really fast, and oh well. It's also the positioning. The positioning was really awkward. For example, that Wave of Terror, minus armor, it's 4 points in. He didn't even go to max the Magic Missile. He really went for the full support build. 4 points in Vengeance Aura. He's all the time alive. He had even a double damage rune for that fight. Minus armor on everyone. It's just not funny, like how fast they even died.
Yeah, and it's a core Venge that now is a Manta style, which is leaps and bounds ahead of anything that Era is going to be able to mop up on his Wraith King. He goes for a Midas, which I think is necessary evil as we see a split in mid, trying to focus down these 2 supports. Sexy Bamboo juking through the trees, and Sqreen should be able to make his way out of here. He's going to Boulder Toss up Sqreen. He doesn't throw either of them up in the air, but doesn't have enough damage. Ogre is pretty darn tanky. Immolation Aura or not. He's going to throw Ogre up in the air. Sexy Bamboo is back here, and he wants blood. He's going to go aggressively onto kicks. He doesn't have any backup for this, so he needs to be careful. Now they find Era inside the woods. IB Ninja is going to bump into there. A very spread out engagement might be breaking out, but in the end, Sqreen Squad are going to back off.
Yep, I haven't seen a single decent primal split yet of this Panda, just because every time he does it, it was just to prevent burst, or when he did it aggressively, there was no follow-up. Even that ultimate in the mid, like, you can't get with even a level 2 primal split. What are you supposed to do there? You can't really do it. 17 seconds, they just kite you. Ogre Major is not really impressed, and so is the Scarab Mage and the Vengeful Spirit at the moment. I mean, Scarab Mage level 11, the Vengeful Spirit level 13 with 1.3k HP, and that is even with agility PTs. So yeah, how are you supposed to kill them solo as a Brewmaster? Like, even attempting that is a bad idea. And the items that are coming out now, it's not even funny. That is a, I don't know, Vengeful Spirit with a ready Manta.
Yeah, Necroman going to bump into Era as well as Kicks inside the jungle. Blink away from Kicks is going to keep himself safe, but Era is going to lose at least his first life and presumably his second. Doesn't have enough backup here. With the Wraith King slow, they might consider jumping in. Kicks is going to look for the leap in, but he can't find it as Era's being focused down. Multicast. Defensive Disruption is going to save a little bit of that damage, but Kicks dies before he's able to get off anything. Lasso into Sexy Bamboo is going to pull him away from the fight, but they're leaking heroes as both of their cores have dropped, and now they're chasing down Key. Blink into the Pounce Magic Missile. It's going to be enough as the Bat Rider is now turned on by Sexy Bamboo and Necromon. They just can't do anything. Sqreen Squad are picking apart Lions.
Yep, they're picking them apart. That's, I think, the best way you can really describe it. I mean, by the time they killed Era the first time, they were still on the way to that fight, and by the time they arrived, Era was already like on what, 20% HP, defensively disrupted, and that's it. And they still had enough mana and everything. There's the GG call. I think it's the right thing to do. It's a best of 2, and the first game was just horrible. The best thing you can do is go for game 2.
Yeah, I think that's what Lions need to do. They need to start out with a clean slate. When Sqreen Squad get their hands on these super aggressive lineups, they just seem to make it work. And although there were a couple questionable dives in it, Sqreen Squad take a commanding win in game number 1. Still, I think Lions have the chance to take game number 2 off of them, but that game number 1 was fairly depressing for them. Let's see if they're going to be able to bounce back. Into game number 2, we're going to go fairly quickly, so don't go anywhere. HeflaTV is going to have some more Join Dota League Season 4.